Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Toasty bringing you guys a Wi-Fi UU match on Pokemon Online on the Small Gun server, this time against the Raising Raichu. I hope I said that right. But this match was pretty decent to start off with, and as you'll see, it just gets progressively and progressively more intense until fire comes out, and there's smoke and sparkles, and no, not really, but I hope you enjoy the match. Anyways, I'm going to lead off with Jeff 2. I knew he was probably going to lead off with Rhyperior to set up his rocks, so that's what Rhyperior does usually. And here I am correct, he sets up his Stealth Rocks. I don't really have a Rapid Spinner on this team. I do need to revise this UU team, definitely. And here I go for another Ice Beam, and it's going to be a solid 3 at KO, and I knew I could definitely take the Earthquake or whatever this Rhyperior wanted to throw at me, due to the fact I do carry Eviolite Stone, so too bad for you, Rhyperior. But here he makes a weird switch out into his Rhyperior, from his Rhyperior into Darmanitan. So here I'm going to switch out, take the Earthquake nicely because, levitate, derp. But I definitely would have let that Rhyperior die, in my opinion, but, to each their own. But here he makes a smart play, goes for the superpower, and I lose Carl, one of my choice scarfers, right to begin with, and that is really annoying. Carl could have definitely helped me out later on in the game, but I definitely should have switched into Slowbro to begin with. I would have been able to take the superpower better. Just better, not more better. Anyways, here he makes a smart move, goes out into his Sceptile, and I really like his Sceptile's name because it's Come At Me, so it's like, come at me, Slowbro. What you doing? You mad, bro? You mad, bro? Nah, not really. But, here I switch out. I'm talking myself in third person, and as a male. What am I doing? Here I switch into Pyramid Head, my UU version of Pyramid Head, which is my Registeel, and here I go for the Thunder Wave. I definitely want to be able to paralyze that Sceptile because then it'll be less effective. But here I can finish off his Darmanitan with a Seismic Toss, and that thing is a really big annoyance to my team, so that one's gone. Anyways, I'm going to be forced to switch out because I am fearing the Earth Power, Fire, Blast, whatever this thing throws at me. And I see he goes for the Flamethrower. And here I'm just going to go for an Overheat. At this point, if I switch out again, Rotom H is going to die. So I definitely should have I just wanted to get as much damage done on this, what is it called, Nidoking as possible. But here he switches out. He wants to save his Nidoking, which is probably good. Here he fodders off his Rhyperior finally. And I am at -4 special attack. And here I'm just going to stay in, like I said, because if I switch out, it's just going to die. So here he's going to Toxic me, kind of drag it out a little bit, which is really annoying, but here I'm locked in Overheat since I am a Choice Scarf variant. Actually, this Rotom set's a little awkward, but it works. I like it, so deal with it. Anyways, here I switch out to my Pyramid Head because it will be able to either Toxic this thing or paralyze this thing, first of all. And he goes for Toxic. He was probably predicting I would switch out, but I have no reason to switch out, honestly. There's no reason not to stay in, excuse me. Here he switches out, and here I'm just going to go for a Seismic Toss. I'm able to take out this Nidoking, and here I am looking pretty strong at this point. It's, 4-3, I'm still up. But here he goes for a Hidden Power, and it does a lot more than I thought it would, but this is more of a physical variant. I should probably run more of a special variant of Registeel, because I already have 2 physical walls. But anyways, I'm going to go for an Iron Head. I am hoping for the Paraflinch. Unfortunately, I do not get it, but I still live with enough HP that I can take him, that I can almost take him out. Excuse me, I thought I did take him out, but lies. And if I sound a little bit rusty, it's because spring is here, and Toasty and spring do not really mix very well, so just deal with it. Anyways, here I have Jeff 2. I'm going to kind of scare it out with an Ice Beam, but here I'm just going to go for the Recover instead. I definitely want to heal up Jeff 2. And here I want to switch out. I do not want to take the Toxic, so I switch out to Lola. Lola at this point is the weakest part on my team. Lola can't really do much at this point besides Leech Seed and all that. But here I'm going to go back into Jeff 2, and I'm going to trace its Natural Cure just in case if he wants to paralyze me. I can easily switch out, have Jeff 2 fresh and ready. Because Jeff 2 at this point is what's going to help me win the game, because there's a Sceptile out there that I can KO with an Ice Beam. And there's this Altaria that is 4 times weak to Ice Beam. So I definitely want to keep Jeff 2 alive because at this point Slowbro is going to be not so useful, and pretty much at this point Lola is kind of a dead weight. But here I am just going to keep going for the Ice Beams, hopefully trying to get a crit at some point. I know that sounds really bad, but here I actually do land the crit. which is fortunate enough for me. But here, the toxic is wearing me down, so I am going to be forced to switch out into Kate, my Slowbro. Yeah, go Slowbro. But anyways, here he's going to be able to recover it off, but honestly, at this point, I wish I still had my Registeel so I could have paralyzed this thing. It would have been a lot more easier to handle. And here he shows me as the heal ball, which is quite annoying. So it means that just getting this thing toxic and whatnot is going to be 10 times harder. Here I'm going to switch out from Kate and go into Jeff 2. I'm going to take the toxic like a pro because, like I said, Jeff 2 has Trace and I get to Trace Natural Cure. That's one of the best things ever to Trace. Actually, earlier on today, I traced Moxie on Jeff 2, and that was pretty funny. But here I am able to live the Dragon Pulse. Like I said, I am more of a specially defensive variant. So, pretty much this Altaria won't be able to take me down as easily as it wants to, as I can do it. But here he's just going to go for Roost. He's trying to stall me out until I die from Toxic. And which is a good move on his part, honestly. I probably would have done the same thing if I were in his shoes. And at this point, I am kind of pulling at my hair, hating Altaria's existence. Not very happy with it, that's for sure. But here I know he's going to go for a Roost, and I definitely wanted to get Jeff 2's Toxic off of him, do the natural cure like I've already said. And here he switches out to Raichu, and I honestly think if he would have stayed with Altaria, he would have been able to outstall me. That is for certain. But anyways, here he has Raichu, and here I'm going to switch out into Lola. Kind of going to scout out what he's going to do, and here I get to be able to take the Thunderbolt. And at this point, Lola's Toxic. I'm going to definitely sack Lola. I can't really do much. I can try to get for Leech Seed, but he still has 3 Pokemon, so he can just easily switch out of that. So here, unfortunately, Lola is going to go down. I am down 2-3, and I'm definitely nervous at this point. Now here, I sent in Jeff 2 because I'm tracing his Lightning Rod, and I am hoping that either he'd forget about it or it's going to be GG at this point. And he does forget about it. I get the special attack raise like I wanted. So here he's going to go for a Nasty Plot, and I'm not going to screw around. I'm just going to go for another Ice Beam, take out this Raichu, because that Raichu is a big threat to my Slowbro, that's for sure. And here's Sceptile. What I should have done is, since Leaf Storm would have dropped his special attack, I should have recovered up until, you know, until I was at good enough HP where I could have definitely taken out this Altaria. But unfortunately, I don't get to use my special attack raise like I wanted to. And here I'm definitely going to speed up the clip process. I think it's at 150 times its normal speed because at this point it's just going to be a stall war. I have that thing Toxic, it can't switch out and fix it due to natural cure, but here he's just going to try to Roost stall me. Here I'm going to keep going for the Psychics because I definitely am trying to get this Spit F drop because I know that will definitely help me out later. And if I don't get it, that might cost me the match. I know this is kind of based on luck, but honestly at this point it's a real stall war. As you can see, we're just both trying to like screw each other over. And here I do land one Spit F drop, and that will matter later on in the match, I do believe. But anyways, he goes for the Roost, and I'm just gonna go for the Slack Off. Like I said, at this point it's a hard, full-blown UU stall war, and I know that half of the people I know on Pokemon Online and, you know, friends and whatnot hate stalls. And I do too, but this is more of a stally team, so sorry bros. So yeah, I was gonna say, what am I gonna say now? Yes, and at this point I'm not gonna reveal that I have the Slack Off, but eventually I do start going for the Slack Offs just to kind of throw him off. And I know at this point he's already used some Roosts, so he's gonna run out Roost before I run out of Slack Offs, honestly, because when I sent in Kate, she was fresh, well, kind of, I guess, supposedly fresh, I suppose. But she had most of her Slack Offs, and he probably used about 6 or 7 Roosts before we got into the stall war. But here he's gonna go for a Roost. I am definitely gonna go for a Slack Off. I almost said I'm going for a Roost, like Slowbro was like hovering and whatnot. But here I am going to go for the Psychic because I know I can live the Dragon Pulse. But here I barely scraped by with 2% HP, and that was a great game, the Rising Raichu. Thank you so much. I enjoyed it a lot. This is one of the few UU matches lately I've had a lot of fun in, honestly, because a lot of them have just been kind of dirt. But yeah, this is probably one of the last times you'll see this UU team. I might